Everyone waited for her to say, "I do." But just before the vows, the doors flew open and everything changed. The chapel buzzed with polite whispers as guests filled the pews. White roses lined every aisle, candles flickered along the windows, and a string quartet played softly under the chandeliers. From the outside, it looked like a perfect wedding day. But inside, Emma Wallace's heart was pounding for all the wrong reasons. She stood alone in the bridal suite, staring at herself in the mirror. The gown fit beautifully. Her hair was pinned just right, but her eyes didn't sparkle the way they should. Her best friend, Josie, tightened the veil and said, "You're quiet." "That's normal, right?" Emma forced a smile. "Yeah, just nerves." But deep down, it wasn't nerves. It was something else. A small voice that had been growing louder every day since she said yes to Ethan. Handsome, wealthy, and wildly impressive, but cold, calculating. He didn't laugh with her, didn't listen, didn't ask about her art or remember how she took her coffee. He was perfect on paper, but not in her heart. And that's where Liam lived. The boy she loved before money, before law school, before ambition took her far from home. He was her first love, her only real love. She hadn't seen him in 6 years, and still, his voice, his laugh, his way of making her feel like the only girl in the world. It haunted her. "Time to go," Josie whispered, tugging gently at her hand. The music shifted. Emma took one breath, then walked toward the aisle. The guests stood. Ethan smiled, and just as the officiant said, "Dearly beloved," the church doors slammed open. All heads turned as a tall man stood in the doorway, breathless, messy hair, and eyes locked on Emma. It was Liam. Gasps rippled through the crowd. The music stopped. Ethan's smile faltered. Emma froze, bouquet trembling in her hands. Liam took a step forward. "Emma, don't do this." Everyone stared, unsure whether to stand or sit or speak. The officiant glanced at Ethan, who now looked like he was ready to explode. "What the hell is this?" Ethan growled. Emma couldn't speak. Her mind spun. Liam's voice cracked. "I didn't come to ruin anything. I just couldn't let you go through with this without knowing. I still love you." A murmur filled the room. Emma's mother covered her mouth. Ethan stepped toward Liam. "Get out." Liam didn't flinch. 5 years ago, I let you go because I thought you needed something bigger. But you never stopped being the one for me. I see you standing here and I know you're not happy." Emma looked down at her bouquet. Her fingers curled around it tightly. She remembered the night Ethan ignored her tears when her dad was in the hospital. She remembered how he'd mocked Liam once, called him a nobody with dirty shoes. "But Liam!" Liam held her hand at her worst. Liam showed up when no one else did. Ethan's voice was low and dangerous. "You're embarrassing her. You don't belong here." Liam turned to Emma. "Then say it. If you love him, say it. I'll leave." Silence. Emma's chest rose and fell, breath sharp and shallow. All eyes were on her now. She slowly turned to Ethan. "I'm sorry," she whispered. Ethan's jaw tightened. "I can't do this," she said louder. "Not like this. Not with you." Gasps again. Josie stepped forward, wide-eyed, but didn't say a word. Emma turned toward Liam. And she walked. She moved down the aisle, past the shocked faces, past the stunned bridesmaids, and right into Liam's arms. He didn't speak. He just held her. Ethan stood frozen at the altar, fists clenched, humiliated in front of everyone he had invited. CEOs, lawyers, family with high expectations. His voice shook with disbelief. "You're choosing him? You're throwing away a future for a mechanic with a toolbox?" Emma pulled back from Liam and looked Ethan straight in the eyes. "You never saw me, not really. You only loved the version of me that fit your world. Liam loved me before I even knew who I was." Ethan scoffed. "You'll regret this." "No," she said calmly. "I regret not listening to my heart sooner." Liam took her hand, and together they walked out of the chapel. The warm air hit her face like a wave of freedom. For the first time in years, she could breathe. They didn't speak right away. They just walked, her heels clicking on the pavement, his hand steady in hers. After a block of silence, Emma laughed, soft, real. Liam looked over, heart racing. "You okay?" She nodded. "I am now." They sat in the parking lot of a little coffee shop they used to visit. No crowd, no flowers, just two people, and the weight of 6 years finally lifting. "You were really going to marry him?" Liam asked gently. "I thought I had to," she said. "But when I saw you, it all came back. Who I used to be, who I still am." He reached for her hand. "Let's take it slow. We've got time." Emma smiled. "I'm not letting you go again." Neither of them noticed the people inside the shop, watching them from behind the window. Or the little girl pointing at them saying, "Mommy, they look like a movie." Because in that moment, it didn't matter. It wasn't about grand stages or big weddings. It was about choosing love, the kind that never really leaves. Sometimes the heart remembers what the mind forgets. Share this if you believe real love always finds its way back. 1 year later, they stood in a small garden behind Emma's childhood home. No grand chapel, no tuxedos, just close friends, string lights, and laughter in the air. Emma wore a simple dress, barefoot on the grass. Liam stood beside her, his hand never letting go of hers. Josie wiped away tears as she handed over the rings. Emma's mom beamed, no longer worrying about high society or perfect pictures, just her daughter's glowing smile. When they exchanged vows, Liam said softly, "I didn't come to save you that day. I just came to tell the truth. But you saved me." Emma looked at him through tears. "You brought me home." After the ceremony, they danced under the stars. No pressure, no guests checking their watches, just music, laughter, and peace. Later that night, sitting on the back porch, Emma leaned her head on Liam's shoulder. "Do you ever think about what would have happened if you hadn't walked into that church?" "Every day," he said, "and every day I thank God I did." They didn't need a fairy tale. They had the truth. And that was more powerful than any altar, aisle, or applause. Because love, the real kind, doesn't need an invitation. It just needs a moment of courage. If you've ever believed in second chances, in bold love, and in listening to your heart, share this story. You never know who's waiting for their own moment to walk away from the wrong life and toward the right one.